again. Kayla here with Damn the Diets. And I wanted to come to you with something about nutritional sciences. I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a holistic nutritionist. I already have my bachelor's in holistic nutrition, and I'm still in school in my master's program for holistic nutrition. Go figure, right? And I wanted to talk about this because, well, first of all, I was studying one of my courses, and, well, first of all, I was studying for one of my classes, and I came across the set weight theory. And if you guys have read my book, you know what I'm talking about, or if you've read on blogs or any other sources on the internet or other books, you know about the set weight theory. And it just so happens that I am learning about it right now in one of my classes. And I found something interesting that I wanted to share with you guys as well, because I wrote about it in my book, and I just wanted to go over it, but also connect it to in recovery. Second, but I'm going to address it first right now, is that it's funny because a lot of us with eating disorders, or we are caught up in clean eating, fad diet trends, or bodybuilding, or orthorexia, all these different kinds of disordered eating behaviors, we end up in the nutritional sciences. We go for our nutrition degrees. And it wasn't even a passion of ours before, but we get into it and it becomes an obsession, and we're like, oh, well, this is my new passion, so I need to get a major in nutrition and dietetics. That was me. And I'm stuck in my schooling for the long haul. I committed and I'm going to finish it. Luckily, in my situation, I was able to take a break within my recovery because I was studying nutrition before in the midst of my eating disorder days. So when I came into recovery, I found it triggering to be studying nutrition and clean eating and just all the macronutrients and micronutrients and proteins and fats and carbs and what we should be eating and blah, blah, blah. And it would trigger me back to thinking about like just clean eating, purity, dogmas, the ideal way of eating for everybody, one way for everybody, which I'm coming to find out studying more in my nutrition program that it's not about that. It's finding the balance for the individual. And so I don't know why all of these trends and diets out there that are recommending this one way for all. No, it's not that. That is not the reality of nutrition. We are all unique. Anyways, so I was triggered in my recovery, and I was able to take a break of my school because I just couldn't do it. It was just sending me back into relapses. So finally, after a while into my recovery, I was able to get back into it, and I was strong enough mentally to not let it trigger me back into a relapse. I take what I want and I leave the rest and what works for me. And I'm doing it to get the damn degree, get it over with. If you guys are in recovery, or you haven't started recovery yet, or whatever, and you also were like me and you got into a long-term commitment to get your nutritional degrees, I feel for you. And I don't have a recommendation for you. I can't tell you whether you can take a break like I did or not. I don't know your situation, but I highly advise it just for the sake of you. You need to look out for yourself first and foremost. Is if it's sending you back into relapse, you need to find a way to take a break for yourself and for the long term, and maybe revisit it because you've committed, or maybe think about finding something else. I already had money investments in this, so I have to just finish it. But I feel fine now. It's not triggering. I mean, there are thoughts, but I don't act upon them. Anyways, this supports what I already preach, so I wanted to read this to you. So bear with me. So, it's about the set weight point. It seems clear that body fat is actually regulated by a control center in the brain referred to as the set weight regulating mechanism, which actually chooses the amount of body fat that it considers ideal for our needs and then works tirelessly to defend that level. In other words, the human body at any given time and age is set to stay at a certain weight And furthermore, the body will strive to maintain this set weight. This fat level, and thus the weight level that the weight regulating mechanism chooses, is called the set point. Blah, blah, blah. Think of your own set point in this way. It is the weight your own body automatically gravitates to and then stays put at what you are eating just as you like, exercising as you like, living as you like, and not paying the least bit of attention to your food intake, exercise level, or weight. This weight regulating mechanism controls body weight in two critically important ways. First, your particular set weight point has a profound influence on the amount of food that you eat, dramatically increasing or decreasing your appetite as needed to maintain the set weight point. Second, your particular set point can actually trigger systems in the body to waste excess energy if you overeat, or to conserve energy if you eat too little. So you lower your metabolism, or you binge, or your body gets a lot of energy and you want to go run or exercise or play a sport to burn it off. So it could go either way. Your body knows. So in parentheses, let us look at how the set point actually works in these two important ways. Based on the nutritional needs of the body, you get a message to eat. The one that we always suppress, that the diets and the dogmas tell us to suppress. While you have absolutely no control over the eating drive, you do have control over how you handle that drive. You decide when to eat, what to eat, and how much to eat. Your body decides that. If you consistently eat less than your set point demands, the drive to eat may become so strong that the conscious decisions making part of you will no longer be in control, causing you to eat quantities that will nudge the set point higher. So what this means is the more you restrict, the more you binge to overcompensate. So your set weight point will creep higher than normal because now you're binging more. And if you were, and your body's storing it because of the famine that is continuously being induced. So your body feels in a threat, in a starved state. It needs to conserve for the future. So once you stop restricting over time, you won't binge and you won't be consuming more than your body actually needs, and your set point will go back down. This is why so many nutritionists are claiming these days, and rightfully so, that diets don't work. Diets don't work. That's the nutritional science today. Diets don't work. So why are they still being promoted? Why? And why are there nutritionists out there recommending these crazy diets? Jesus. The weight regulating mechanism can also direct systems in your body to either conserve or waste energy. These systems have been poorly understood in the past, but now it is easy to see why people can eat very little and still remain fat, while others eat a lot but don't gain an ounce. As scientists, we have never been able to explain this paradox until we became aware of how these systems work. So defining this set weight point and these inner mechanisms that are there to help us control our weight and just be at our own healthy weight. The first system that directs your body to either conserve or waste energy, gain or lose weight, surprisingly, is regulated by the amount of food you eat. Large intakes of food increase the rate at which you burn calories. When food is taken into the body after, for instance, an evening's rest, the metabolism speeds up. The body actually raises a slight bit in temperature as it begins the processes of digestion, the tendency for the body to rid itself of too many calories taken in by overeating. Continually, day in and day out, gorging will, of course, push the set point up higher and higher. So, binging in recovery, though, come on, guys. Stick with me here. In the beginning of recovery, binging is normal and necessary to make up for the past restriction of calories. It's temporary. Now, if we're talking about binging like a year into your recovery, that's because you're still restricting. So your body's still trying to compensate for the lack of energy that it needs and is asking for. So don't get them mixed up. Binging as an act from restricting still is different than when you're in recovery and you're finally allowing your body to eat again. It's like, oh yes, I can eat. Give me everything now. And if you listen to that, it'll die down on its own. And then you won't find yourself desiring to binge anymore. Unless you're still over-exercising and under-eating. People are like, well, I'm this long into recovery and I'm still binging. But then you look more into it and they're still overexerting themselves and they never gave themselves the rest, for one, or they're still restricting low-key or not feeding themselves enough in the recovery. So like the phase 1 of recovery just is prolonged forever, and you're in that limbo. You don't get past phase 1. You have to allow that rest, okay, and feed yourself a shit ton. Okay, where was I? We must understand a limit of the human body to so compensate. The point here is that an occasional large intake of food by a person who exercises regularly and moderately, therefore has a healthy, high-burning metabolism that does not turn into fat. So if you go out and you have fun, like, you're not going to blow up. Have some fun. Has a healthy, high-burning metabolism, does not turn to fat, as studies show that the Luxo consumption factor kicks into gear and compensates for the occasional binge. There's a lot more. This video is getting long, but I just wanted to share that. And it's fun to connect, actually, the nutritional sciences to help support damning the diets and like getting past these restrictive diets and dogmas and neurotic exercising. All about nutritional sciences and kinesiology, all of it. It promotes balance, healthy. We've gone to the extreme with nutritional sciences and fitness. We need to have nutrition for health and exercise for health and balance just because we want to feel good. But we also got to live and have our sanity and our mental health in the day and age we are in today, and stop being so neurotic about it all and extreme and like black and white and all or nothing and perfect. Whatever. There's no perfection. So like we need to get over ourselves and just find what works for you. Do some walking. Find your fitness, find your balance, find the food that makes you feel good and at peace. Yeah, I've talked about what finding your balance means. So that's really what it is. So if you're having trouble with this, I hope this helped you. If you want more about like these kinds of topics when I come across them in my nutritional sciences program, if it helps us to understand why we're doing all this and why diets don't work, it's a good thing. It's when we're doing it to justify our clean eating obsessions and neurotic diets that it just isn't good anymore. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. It's nighttime here. That's why the lighting is bleh. So, yeah, until next time, have a good night or day or whatever, afternoon. All right, bye, guys.